There was once a cave that could not be opened by kings, wealthy merchants, or powerful sorcerers. For all the treasure hidden within its depths, only one poor boy in the world could enter it. And a man who had spent years mastering secret arts was willing to cross deserts and kingdoms to find him. This is Simple Tales. Long ago, in a great city in China, lived a boy named Aladdin. He was clever and full of life, but lazy, preferring to wander the streets with his friends rather than learn a trade. His widowed mother worried constantly about his future. One day, a stranger arrived in the city, a magician from the distant land of the Maghreb. Through ancient knowledge, he had learned of a magnificent treasure cave, but only a specific boy could safely enter it. That boy was Aladdin. The magician approached him warmly, pretending to be his long-lost uncle, the brother of his dead father. He brought fine gifts, spoke kindly, and promised the boy riches and opportunity. Aladdin and his mother welcomed him with open hearts. After several days, the magician led Aladdin far into the wilderness. At a lonely place among the hills, he lit a fire, cast strange powders into the flames, and made the earth tremble. A great stone slab appeared. With surprising ease, Aladdin lifted it, revealing a dark passage leading deep underground. The magician gave him a magic ring for protection. "Go down," he said. "You will pass through chambers filled with gold and jewels. Touch nothing except an old oil lamp at the very end. Bring it to me, and all the treasures shall be yours." Aladdin descended into the wondrous cave. Trees hung heavy with jewels instead of fruit, branches glittering with rubies, emeralds, and diamonds. Golden vessels and silver fountains sparkled in the darkness. At the farthest chamber, he found the plain, dusty lamp. He tucked it safely into his clothing, filled his pockets with some of the shining gems, and returned to the entrance. The magician leaned over the opening, eyes burning with greed. "The lamp," he demanded. "Give it to me now." Aladdin hesitated. The walls were steep and the drop dangerous. "Help me out first," he replied. "Then I will give it to you." The magician's face twisted with rage. His kindness vanished in an instant. Again he demanded the lamp. Again Aladdin refused. In fury, the sorcerer spoke a powerful spell. The stone slab slammed shut, trapping Aladdin in total darkness. Alone and afraid, Aladdin wandered the chambers in despair. At last he sank to the ground and clasped his hands together. As he did, he accidentally rubbed the magic ring. A flash of light appeared, and a powerful genie stood before him. "I am the servant of the ring," it declared. "What do you command?" Aladdin begged to be taken home. In an instant, he stood beside his mother once more. Together, they examined the old lamp. While cleaning it, his mother rubbed its surface. A far greater genie appeared in a burst of light. "I am the servant of the lamp," it announced. "What is your wish?" From that day forward, Aladdin's life transformed. The lamp brought food, wealth, and comfort. Years passed, and Aladdin grew wiser. When he saw the Sultan's beautiful daughter, Princess Badrul Badur, he fell in love. With the genie's help, he sent magnificent gifts to the court, built a splendid palace, and won her hand in marriage. The former street boy now lived like a prince. But the magician had not forgotten. When he learned Aladdin had survived and risen so high, he returned in disguise as a humble peddler. Walking the streets, he cried, "New lamps for old, new lamps for old." The princess, unaware of the lamp's power, saw the old dusty lamp and gladly traded it for a shiny new one. The magician seized his prize and fled. He summoned the genie and wished for the entire palace, along with the princess, to be carried to his distant kingdom. When Aladdin returned and found everything gone, his world shattered. Yet he still had the magic ring. Using its genie, he crossed deserts and mountains in pursuit. He found the palace, secretly reunited with the princess, and together they made a clever plan. The magician, believing he had won forever, grew careless. One evening, he drank from a cup prepared by the princess and fell into a sleep from which he would never wake. Aladdin reclaimed the lamp, commanded the palace to return to China, and ended the sorcerer's threat once and for all. He and the princess ruled wisely for many years, using their great power with care and generosity. And that is why the tale of Aladdin has enchanted listeners for centuries. For the people who first told this story in the world of the 1001 Nights, the setting in China was a place of wonder and imagination, a distant, magical land where anything was possible. The lamp and ring were symbols of borrowed power. But the real story was about how a simple boy used cleverness, courage, and quick thinking to rise and survive. The universal lesson is this: fortune may arrive through luck or magic, but it is kept through wisdom and resilience. Even when everything is taken away, a clear mind and a brave heart can turn the tables and restore what matters most. If you enjoyed this tale of adventure, magic, and clever triumph, share it with someone who loves stories of rising from nothing. Thank you for listening. Until the next one.